Welcome to the post game here. Tough loss for the Bucks, coming off a big, 3-0 start to the season and a big win over Lincoln Memorial. And tonight, just I just like the Lemoyne women the other night against the Lady Bucks in overtime. Told Dr. Smrelli I'll be interested to see how Lane does in the SIAC this year, because if they play like they did tonight, I think they're going to do some damage.
Well, I mean, they played very well. You got to give them credit. They shot the lights out. I felt like early in the game, the first half, first 9, 10, 12 minutes, we did a terrible job guarding. We weren't out. They were shooting a lot of open shots, but that got them going. That got their confidence up. I think that first 10 minutes of the game is where we did the most damage to ourselves, just kind of making the game the way it was and getting in a situation where calls could beat you. I mean, we got that ball into Joe, and he made a tough shot. It's a tough call. I mean, it could have gone either way. I mean, he kind of leaned in. I don't think it was tough. It's tough to lose on a call like that, because
at the end of the game,
it's you're 2 down and you get the ball inside and get a bucket. I thought it was a really tough call when we had the trap on the out of bounds over here in the corner where they almost lost it out, and I don't.
They called
I didn't. But it was. But I told our guy, I said the problem is we let the game get to where
to that point
a tough call could beat you. A call that could go either way, and down the home stretch. We got we shot a lot of free throws tonight. Now the other thing that's tough about it, and we run into this a lot, they're fouling us almost every time down the floor, and they're not going to call it every time. So you got to be stronger with the ball. They're holding cuts, and as officials, they start feeling like, it looks bad because we're in the double bonus
9-3,
but we're playing a totally different style, and that's the part that's frustrating. But we looked like a team coming off a really good win that just moved into the rankings, and we just came out flat, and they played, it was a combination of us not playing as well as we can play. You give them credit, but, and then you look at our shooting. I mean, we're 10 for 27 from 3.
There were so many of those wide open looks that we normally – I said at halftime, I'm like, we were 7 for 17. I'm like, 6 of those 10 were wide open. We hit 3 of them, and we're up by 10 points.
Right.
I mean, it's just one of those games.
Well, and that's – a lot of times that's what it comes down to. I mean, and – Their guard, little number 3, he took it to us. I mean, he took it to us, little number 10.
Hill,
3 and 10. I mean, they really, they did a number on. I mean, just a lot of one-on-one type stuff. And, they just whipped us. You got to give them credit. It's a good win for them. And, we understand, and our guys know it better now, that we got a chance to be good. We can beat really good teams, and we can lose to teams that are, at least – I mean, I think in the Gulf South, they're a middle-of-the-pack kind of team. I mean, they're not right. They're capable of beating most people, but clearly they're not as good as the team we played Saturday.
Yeah.
And again, that's basketball
level. Yeah. Yep. And that'll be even tougher up there because you do have the return game in December on that road trip when you guys are gone. But
I reminded our guys, we were 11-0 after Christmas last year. We came in here and we were flat, and Auburn Montgomery took it to us.
Yeah,
and we had to turn around and go back to Auburn Montgomery later in the season, and it was a game right after that Delta State loss that was the worst, as bad a loss as I've ever had as far as how tough it was to take as a team. And we're looking at going to Auburn Montgomery. You're thinking, boy, that's going to be really tough. And we go down there and play one of the best games we played in the month of February. So you never know. I mean, given night to night, we go up there, maybe we hit some shots early and they don't, and the game can take another direction. But like I said, they took it to us tonight.
Boy, another big game from Adam. So consistent, 28 points tonight. And, he was 9 for 13 from the line. That's good. It's magnified, it seems like, with Adam when he misses a few free throws. Right. Because he's going to have a lot of opportunities.
Yeah, you'll take 9 for 13.
Absolutely. That's what I say.
I mean, Adam's shooting is, that. I mean, he's, offensively he had a great game.
8
he
for
wasn't
14.
The problem. Now his turnovers are another story, and he knows that. I mean, that, and 3 of them early.
Yeah.
That was part of the game when the thing was going the wrong direction. And we only had at halftime we had 5 turnovers, which isn't terrible. If you only won it with 10 turnovers in the game, we only
Well, and 3 or 4 of those were the first 3 or 4 minutes of the second half.
Adam had 3 of them, and they were early. He got trapped one time inside, and we didn't make a good pass out. And it's not all him. The guy's movement around him when he gets the ball in the post and they're doubling him. People got to be moving better to space where they're open. Like the one he threw a skip pass and the guy went up and got it. But the guy he's throwing to needs to shift enough to open. That's what we say is open a window. Open a passing lane for him where he's not having to throw it over somebody that's really athletic and long that'll go up and take that pass away. But like I said, they did a number on us, and they deserved it. And we just got to, it's one that we're going to go back and look at the film, try to figure out what happened, what went wrong, and we'll go from there.
And boy, you're coming off Freshman of the Week honors for Nick Deifel. He is really special.
Yeah, he's playing really well.
He is really special right now, early on, and I think it hurt a little bit with Jake going to the bench 2 minutes in. 2 minutes in with the 2 minutes in with the second foul, and that allowed them to have more of their drives because he's a physical force underneath there and can cut some of those things off. Yeah, and that impacted a little bit too because he was out the rest of the first half.
It got us out of it, and I really. When he came out, I told him I wasn't going to leave him out of there the rest of the half. It's kind of the way the half was going, and one of the problems I'm having, Brad didn't play a lot in the second half, or didn't play as much as he would normally play. We're wanting to get Nick in there, and it's hard sometimes to figure out which guy to take out.
Right.
We maybe should have shuffled it a little bit more than we did, because Nick needs to play a lot of minutes.
Yeah.
But you're going to have to take minutes away from other guys that I really feel strongly about. And it's kind of a feel thing. Brad like a lot of us, missed a couple, didn't miss many, but missed a couple open threes and missed a free throw. And I just thought, Brad's not, he got that wide open
Brad.
Second half. He got that wide open one in this corner in front of our bench, the kind that I think a lot of times he cans, and he seemed to hurry a couple. Just didn't seem to be totally on his game tonight, and that's probably not totally fair to him. I think, and then he missed the front end of a 1-and-1, and.
But it's a lot of normal.
A lot of it's just instinct. You're trying to figure it out, and obviously I didn't push the right buttons tonight.
Yeah, well, it's early. Like I say, it's a disappointing loss, but it's early. Like you said, watch the film. Hopefully they'll learn from it, and you get a little break, I guess, on Thanksgiving, have a day or two off or whatever,
a little bit.
And then boom, you're right back to Harding, who's always tough here in Canale. I haven't looked to see how
Harding
they are this year, but
Harding will be tough.
And then you hit the road for those 4 games, including the openers down. Luckily, it's the farthest road trip. You get it out of the way early, but boy,
West
those
Florida, Valdosta, and then I think we go to Lane,
and then at Bellarmine.
And Bellarmine. So. We don't. There's not any easy games.
No.
It's a very tough schedule, and if we handle it right, it'll make us better.
Yeah.
For the long stretch, but there's just not going to be any easy wins. That's for sure.
Yep. Well, Coach, I want to thank you for stopping by. Like I say, I know tough loss, but you and the Bucks have a nice, great Thanksgiving. Have some good practices, and we'll see you back here and get back on the winning way Monday night against Harding.
Sounds good.
All right.
Thank you
very much, Mike.